sunrise at 12. My wish till my will. Be that potion, my spell. The whole reason I fell. Be my sunrise at 12. My wish till my will. Be that potion, my spell. The whole reason I fell. The whole reason I fell.
Good morning, friends. How are we all doing this morning? Brekky In The Cave. That's what I'm talking about. We've got an amazing guest, as you can see on the right-hand side over here. We're going to be joined by a man like Sepia this morning. It's going to be an amazing show today. We've got some bangers on the way. We've got new music from Rosca, Murder He Wrote, Jelani Blackman, new Luciferian, some new Folo and Vexy as well, new Slash and Dopper, new Artsy also, new NCT and Futurebound, a real mix and blend of flavours. Going to be talking about a few different bits as well. It's going to be a very enjoyable one. Make sure you are following the channel, subscribing, of course, and liking the video. Give me them upvotes, blood.
The whole reason I fell. The whole reason I fell. Be my sunrise at 12. My wish till my will. Be that potion, my spell. The whole reason I fell. Be my sunrise at 12. My wish till my will. Be that potion, my spell. The whole reason I fell. The whole reason I fell. The whole reason I fell.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Brekky In The Cave, myself, Kovu, in the hot seat. We are live from the cave. This is my home studio. For those that aren't aware, normally I run a breakfast show over on Trickstar Radio, and this is obviously the temporary solution due to the studio being closed. Thank you everyone who's been subscribing to the channel. Thank you to everyone who has been checking in for these breakfast shows. I know we've got a little group of regulars floating around now, which is quite enjoyable. It's good to see you all every morning. I hope everyone out there is keeping safe as we enter day 2 of official lockdown. Me, myself, have actually been... is it quarantining or isolating the one? Basically, I haven't been going outside for the last sort of 2 weeks now. So I'm losing my hair a little bit. I'm going a little bit off the rails by the looks of things. But yeah, thank you to everyone who has been supporting this channel. Obviously, this is something I'm looking to do for long term. and keep this channel growing and expanding. It's surprisingly difficult to grow a YouTube channel, man. You've got to constantly be uploading. You've got to constantly be like looking at trends and things you can find. I'm probably going to start looking at a couple of reaction videos to like trailers when they drop. Obviously, there aren't going to be many trailers dropping over the next couple of months, though, so it's quite difficult to find the balance. But yeah, there's loads of stuff on the way. Out to everyone who's been following the Third Age series, I'm going to try and look at getting a couple of different gaming videos up once we finish that. But yeah, it's like full-time YouTubing at the moment, which is very enjoyable indeed. For today's show, we're going to be joined by a man like Sepia on the phone. I can't wait for it. He's the first person to ever book myself for a DJ show, and I really can't wait to see listen to some of the new bangers he sent over. We're going to be listening through them and having a chat with him about everything he's been involved with over the last sort of 2 to 3 years. I bump into him every now and then when he plays in Brighton, but yeah, really looking forward to seeing what he's had happen over the last couple of years. I know he's been very busy. I've been seeing his releases pop up on Juno Download. We did actually record the next episode of the Juno Download podcast yesterday. Really interesting chat. That should be coming out towards the end of, or towards the start of next month. So there'll be some good listening for you there. But as I said, we've got some bangers to play for you this morning. So we're going to jump into this one from NCT and Futurebound. Liquidy flavors this morning here on The Breakfast Show. Lovely liquid flavours on this one. NCT and Futurebound, The Feeling. This one is out now, I believe. Wicked tune. Lovely flavours on that one. Enjoying the kind of mix and blend of styles we're able to play this morning. Out to everyone locked in so far. Make sure you are dropping a comment in the chat on the side. keep these unsociable times social, please, people. Have a bit of a conversation, get to know new people. As I was saying a couple of weeks ago, I'm really enjoying this this period. Not necessarily enjoying the period because of what's going on, but I'm enjoying the kind of opportunities and the kind of friends I'm making off the back of this. There's definitely been, I've definitely become a lot more open to meeting new people online, and I've literally Discord is my life, is basically what I'm getting at. Discord for the last couple of weeks, we've been in a group which has been doing different games and kind of like film watch-alongs and stuff like that, and it's been really fun to do. I would definitely recommend to anyone getting on Discord right now and just joining a couple of random groups, getting to know a few random people, and seeing just making new friends online. I think it's a bit of an underrated thing that people can do, because these are times where we need to be making the most of it. You know what I mean? We need to be looking around and finding things to do and finding new interests, which is exactly why I keep putting this poll out on Instagram, trying to find out what people's skills, what skills people want to learn are during this period of time, because there are loads of vocational things you can do. We've had Max Wheeler on, obviously someone who is looking around doing a lot of different bits for kind of musical teaching. Good morning to James Chase. Good morning, sir. How are you doing? Good morning, drum work as well, out to my locked in crew. It's always good to see people popping up on that side bit. I do enjoy it. But yeah, as I was saying, this is definitely a period of time in which I feel people can definitely take on new skills, make new friends online. I think this is a time of exploration as much as anything else. But as I was saying, that's why I keep putting the poll out via the Instagram page, and I'm going to check that throughout the day for any updates. But what I'm trying to get at is, what skills are people learning? Good morning, Darb Sarge as well. Hello, good morning, regular crew. So we're going to be moving around a few different styles this afternoon. Is it this afternoon yet? No, it's still the morning, isn't it? Let's get into this one then, from Jelani Blackman, an artist I'm absolutely loving at the moment. Love what he's doing. He's got a really unique take on what I'll call UK rap more than anything else. But this one is Swerve. This is his latest single. Just gone at 12 minutes past 10 here on the Cubcam YouTube channel. Make sure you're keeping it locked, subscribing to the channel, and leaving a little comment on the side so we can have a bit of a conversation. And yeah, let's get on with it.
Hey, yo, I get dough, like everyone I know. Hype in my dome, restless, calm, move slow. Nah, like bro, come on, paper, don't want loan. Yeah, I'm so grown, yeah, I'm so grown. Them lost, I wanna make acts. I want lobster, wanna make racks. I got a whole of the team on my back. From back in the day, can feel the impact. In fact, flows clean like Dax. I'll take tea for the jewels and jacks. We make money off album tracks. Come on, I'll face it, let's all face facts. I just eat work, and then I swerve and then I eat work, and then I swerve and then I eat work, and then I swerve and then I eat work, and then I swerve and then I wanna eat like everyone I meet. Like I'm no chief, paper, don't want grief. Like do re me, I make the bank just sing my tune. I'm years ahead like ultralight beam, make my moves all over the scene. Them no PA wanna catch air, it's all BS when I don't care. Nah, no PS when I get there, cause might get EXO, might get weird. Like Ric Flair, back to my nature, yeah, I work but I'm not a saver. I'm not a waiter but I get food and dough. Nobody tell me do's and don'ts. Pain in my bones like blues and soul. Hey, yo, pain in my bones like blues and soul. Pain in my bones like, pain in my bones like blues and soul. Hey, yo, pain in my bones like, so I just eat work, and then I swerve and then I eat work.
Sounds of Jelani Blackman on this one.
Work,
absolute banger, I've got to say. This one's Swerve. It's out now. Go and grab it.
We'll never be similar, rip a basket. She slice entirely, you're well messy. Vibe and a rhythm dark, I can scar any. Life and a limit, your peak, I very can't relax. And I had to chill, it's holidays. Just when it's time to go, I fast react. Never ready when they tell me where the party at. That's where you feel struggling cardiac. Back to back, nights can't bite, cause I'm that nice with the flow. You know I catch vibes. Ooh, I'm that guy. Preach, but I don't baptize. Ooh, I rap rhymes. It's that timing. Yo, I'm that guy. Preach, but I don't baptize them. Just eat work, and then I swerve and then I eat work, and then I swerve and then I eat work, and then I swerve and then I eat work, and then I swerve and then I eat work, and then I swerve and then I eat work, and then I swerve and then I eat work, and then I swerve and then I eat work, and then I swerve.
Yes, yes. Good morning, my friends. Welcome to the Cubcam YouTube channel. For those looking in for the first time, this is how we are spending our mornings. We're having a bit of a conversation, looking around loads of different bits of news. Obviously, I come from a dance music, and electronic music background, but we are looking at loads of different genres of music. That one there coming from Jelani Blackman, one of my favorite artists out right now, putting out some incredible music, some serious bangers left, right, and center. And I really, really like his very kind of unique vocal tones. I'd like to hear him, Abracadabra, and someone else with a ridiculously low voice all on a tune together. I think some of the harmonies you'd end up getting would be out of this world. So despite the current scenario, obviously with the clubs all being primarily closed, we're going to look through the DJ Mag Top 100 clubs, which was announced during a kind of Twitter live feed yesterday. I think they tend to do things a little bit differently normally, but what they did basically was an extended thread, basically going through the names as they went. So we're going to start at number 10 because I don't want to sit here and go through all top 100. Number 10 was the Octagon in South Korea. And these are the top 10 best clubs in the world according to DJ Mag. So you then have Zouk Singapore, obviously in Singapore for number 9. Number 8 is Brekky, which is in exactly the same place, I believe, as it was last year. At number 7, you have Papaya Club in Croatia. You then have up 2 spots, you have Boots House Club in Germany, which is it in Cologne? Yeah, it's in Cologne. Yeah, we go. You then have up 4 places, Printworks is up to number 5 in top 5 clubs in the world. Printworks LDN. That's really cool to see. You then have is it Ushuaia? I don't actually know how you pronounce it. Ushuaia in Ibiza at number 4. You then have Echo Stage in Washington DC at number 3. Up 2 places, it is High Ibiza, and then you have number 1. This year's winner is Green Valley BR in Brazil. They are the top 10 rated clubs according to DJ Mag this year. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that if you want to head over to the chat. It's interesting. I like the fact that they did actually carry on and do it this year. They did put out a statement saying that they were a little bit concerned about doing it due to obviously the clubs being closed, and they didn't want it to be a bit of a slap in the face for people, but they thought, you know what, we're going to do it and hope people essentially take it the right way around, which is really, really cool to see. But yeah, there we go. The full list is online. If you head over to DJ Mag, either the website or the Twitter feed, they've got a big thread with pretty much every single one of the clubs in there, the location and their tag as well. So there we go. Let's get into some more bangers as we go forward then. This next one we're going to jump into comes from Rosca and Murder He Wrote. This one goes by the name of You. Really liking this one right now. We've played it a couple of times on this show, and it's a certified banger. So what can we do? Madness, that warehouse project in Manchester, isn't in there. Yeah, to be fair, it's a pretty well-renowned well-renowned venue, to be honest with you. But yeah, I'm gonna run this one, and then we'll get into some conversation about what we feel the best clubs we've been to around the UK are next. Rosca. Coming from Rosca and Murder, he wrote really cool funky flavours on that one. Out to man like Drumwork saying Patterns is number one. You know what? It's my favourite place to go on a regular basis as well. Not going to deny that. Absolutely love Patterns and all the staff down there. I do kind of worry a little bit about the clubs that are currently obviously not able to open due to the current scenario, and obviously we want every club in Brighton to remain open. Obviously going forward, because we'll come out of this period, you know what I mean? We will come out the other side, and people will want to party, people will want to remind themselves of good times. So I am hoping that everywhere around Brighton is able to remain open, and it isn't too much of a madness on the other side. But yeah, that one coming from Rosca and Murder, he wrote really, really cool vibes on that one. I'm going to be asking Sepia about his favourite venues that he's played in around the world, because I know he's done a fair bit of touring at this moment in time. So we're going to be talking about that a little bit later on as we jump on the phone with him in about 5 minutes or so. But yeah, what we're going to be looking at now, I really like that one from Rosca and Murder, he wrote to me. I'm really enjoying the kind of funky revival that's going on in the UK. Drumwork is in the chat. I know he's someone who's pretty involved with funky. But yeah, what we're going to be doing, let's jump into another banger, shall we? I think that's the best thing to do for the time being. This next one coming from Slash and Dopper. This one is My Man Buster. Brand new from them. They're one of my favourite kind of house artists, house duos working out there right about now. And they're putting out some incredible music, so I'm going to very enjoyably get into this one next. As I said before, make sure you are leaving a comment on the right-hand side chat box if you are listening via desktop, or I think you can do it via phone as well, but I'm not too sure. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel. Make sure you are favoriting the video as well. Every single one makes a huge difference, and we're trying to build something very special here whilst Trickstar Radio is closed, because that's where I would normally be around this sort of time. Well, maybe half an hour ago. But yeah, there we go. Don't go anywhere. This one coming from Slash and Dopper. This one is My Man Buster. Smooth vibes on this one. Slash and Dopper, as I said before. A couple of my favourite house producers right about now. They're putting some amazing stuff out on Toolroom. I'm going to get on the phone with Sepia in just a second, so keep it locked. It's going to be a very enjoyable interview for the next half an hour or so.
It's real sexy right now.
Alright then guys, we are live inside the building. This is Brekky in the Cave, and we have got a very special guest on the phone joining us this morning. Man like Sepia is on the phone. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How you doing, Jay?
I'm good. It's been a long time, man. I'm good. I'm really, really good. I've been looking forward to this one, well, since last week, since we first locked it in, actually. And I won't lie, beyond that, because obviously we've known each other for a fair few years.
Mate, yeah, good. At least over 10, about 10 now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about 10 years, brother. It's been a long, long time. This is an interview I feel that's been a long, long time coming, quite specifically. I mean, how are you doing with everything that's going on?
Mate, good. Surprisingly, I'm good. Like, obviously, it's not the best situation for people like me and you, self-employed. There's no government plan for us just yet, but it's good because studio time, man. Just everyone can be creative right now, and I'm just hemorrhaging music right now, which is really good.
That's what I like to hear, man. I mean, you're obviously someone who puts out like a fair few tunes as well. Over the last sort of like 2 to 3 years, we've seen a lot of music from yourself. Like, how has the last 2 to 3 years been for you? Because I feel this has been the time when you've really kind of shot up to prominence.
It's been kind of crazy, you know, because obviously, like, you've known me for years. In Brighton, we were just playing shows and, like, weren't really putting any music out. I was making those, but nothing was coming out. Then all of a sudden, just kind of switched my sound and made it more, I don't know, tuned and, like, whole. Then all of a sudden, just vinyl after vinyl after vinyl just come out, and it's been kind of non-stop ever since.
Definitely, man. Like, I mean, I remember kind of back to the very sort of early days. I remember the sort of tunes you had floating around, and I remember there being this kind of like switch. And I don't know if was it Music Box, the name of the track.
Yeah, Music Box is the one that kind of done everything. Yeah, man.
That's
the first record I've ever had.
And then obviously, I think, did that get picked up by Joe? It was Joe Nice originally who picked that one up, I believe.
Yeah, man. Joe Nice from Gourmet Beats, a dubstep legend from America. He was pushing the sound early. He first contacted me in like 2012 and started playing my tunes. Those tunes were rubbish back then. But I'm glad I got him a good one finally.
Definitely, man. I mean, I remember kind of seeing the kind of progression, obviously, because you moved up to Bristol quite like from Brighton, obviously, and then obviously since then it's kind of like gone up and up and up and up and up. A question I'll ask, because I always ask this to people who used to live in Brighton: do you miss Brighton?
I do, a lot. I'm down quite often because my brother still lives there, so I've still come down quite a bit. I was down on my birthday, actually, just back in January, after coming back from America. I fell in love with Brighton again. Yeah, it's nice.
But yeah, I think, obviously you're someone who tours a lot. Something we're going to get into a little bit later on, actually, because I don't know if you saw DJ Mag just put out their top 100 clubs worldwide. A little bit later on, I want to get into this, because we'll talk about kind of like your favourite places you've played around the world, because you are someone that tours a lot. But like primarily, when you're putting together a tune now, like obviously, as you said, your sound switched up a fair bit. Like, what do you look for when you're making a tune?
To be honest, I don't know really. I don't really get influence from much electronic. I mainly get my influence from bands and situations in life that have happened rather than other people's sounds. But I guess I just started staying in more and working on my sound and making it a bit more than just like a club beat, something more you can listen to but also play in the club, and touching into those sides and different textures as well, rather than just a drop and focusing on, you know, the heavy hittedness of dubstep, etc.
Wicked. I think dubstep as a whole has gone under a real switch up over the last sort of 2 years specifically. Everything seems to be heading more towards this kind of like twisted kind of, I don't want to say clunky because that's the wrong word, but very kind of like syncopated style of melody. Have you like how do you feel about dubstep at the moment?
No, definitely. They're definitely working off the grid, because back in the day, everyone was using FL, 4/4 beat, just, you know, standard grid music. But now people are taking it to different places, going more experimental, different time signatures, even changing tempo halfway through tunes. There's people showing their musical side a lot more now, and it's good, really good. It's not so basic anymore. Definitely.
Like, I think, especially the thing I've noticed is more than anything else as well is this sort of Eastern kind of musical element that is popping in, that everyone is kind of dipping into, like Turkish cellos, and kind of like kind of Eastern Arabic sounding strings as well. Like, I think it sounds really cool, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I'm loving that whole sound. People are digging a lot more into their samples and even making some. like people definitely must be doing some good record digging to get some of the samples they're getting, rather than just hitting some keys on massive. And
Yeah, I mean, there's certain times you hear stuff and you're like, there's no way that's been made in like production software. When you hear somewhere like the swing or like the kind of the almost like the emotion in a lot of these strings, it's very difficult to kind of replicate that within production software a lot of the time.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's just going crazy at the moment. It's really good to hear as well. Like, it's like you can imagine it being played live through live instrumentation and samplers and synths rather than just someone putting beats together, which is more interesting. It brings a whole new element to it.
Definitely, man. Right, we're going to jump into some music from yourself to kick us off with. You sent over a few absolute bangers, which I'm really looking forward to getting into. So, this first one, track entitled Voodoo. Talk to me about this tune. How did it come together? What's happened with it? Yada, yada, yada.
This one I've been sat on for a few years actually. I made it in the start of 2017. Made it. It was in a bit of a dark period, but that's when you make the best music really. And I just sat and just started playing on keys and sampling that vocal, and then it all just came together. And then a couple of years down the line, the Truth Boys from Deep Dark and Dangerous hit me up and wanted to put it out, and it just came out last week actually, on Friday the 20th of March. It came out on the Deep Dark Dangerous trilogy compilation. I mean, I've
that was an EP that I reviewed for Juno Download. How does it feel to be on a release like that? Because that's a storming release.
It's a mammoth release. Like, when they signed it, I didn't realise it was going to be to that scale. I thought they were just going to put the tune out. And it turned out it's a 3-pack edition on vinyl, but the digital has like 30 tracks.
Yeah.
The deep part, dark part, the dangerous part, all with artwork, coloured vinyls. Really interesting project to be involved with. Big on those guys.
I think Deep Dark and Dangerous at the minute are a label that are really, I don't want to say pushing the boundaries because I think that's the wrong word, but they're really kind of hitting high quality releases on a consistent scale. Like, who are your favourite labels to work with at the moment?
Always Infernal Sounds, they're my home. Big up Anuin and Jens. Deep Dark as well. White Peach, always completely smashing the game out. Every release is just constant amazingness, and so often as well, which I find hard to keep relevant when you're putting that many releases out, but they managed it.
Definitely. I think the thing with White Peach as well, from a kind of like fans perspective, a lot of the time, everything, it's the branding on everything as well. It's simple, it's clean, but every tune is just like incredibly hard hitting. Like they put a Gloom and Foster EP out, and every tune on that for me was just like mind blowing.
That's one of my favourite ones, and the latest Mr. K one as well. Both those are just insane.
Awesome, man. Right, let's get into this then. This one is Voodoo. We're live on the line with Sepia. This is Brekky in the Cave. Thank you for joining us this morning, my friends. Don't go anywhere.
Do you
sounds of Sepia on that one with Voodoo. Absolutely wicked tune, that one. Out to everyone locked in this morning, all of my Brekky crew. As I said before, whenever we do these interviews, make sure you're leaving any questions you have for our guest in the chat box, or hit me up personally, and we'll ask them a little bit later on. But yeah, wicked tune, man. Something that I want to talk about as well is, over the last sort of 2 to 3 years, we've noticed such an addition of emotion going into your tunes. Like, how do you kind of get that kind of sense of feeling into your music?
To be fair, since early, most of them were pretty emotional. Like back in the old Brown Noise days, I was always making the two-step future garage, which were all deep, but my sets were completely different. And I don't know, I guess I just get bored of just hearing drops and heaviness. I want there to be a bit more emotion in tunes, like something you can actually attach to. So I don't tap into it purposefully. I'm just usually when I'm feeling a bit rubbish or, you know, in a certain mood, I'll just sit and express it through my laptop, and then that just comes out. It's not necessarily planned, but I like the way it's going. So
yeah, definitely, man. I'd definitely say that sort of like you could definitely hear the sort of post garage in there as well. You could, in the sort of like percussion and the kind of like shuffling hi-hats and stuff, you could still hear the elements of it.
Yeah, definitely. It's always been a huge influence. Something I can't seem to shake, but I'm kind of enjoying doing it though.
Yeah, definitely, man. But I think that's what we're going to be seeing more and more of now as we move forward. I've been saying it in a lot of articles recently. I feel this next sort of 10 years is going to be 10 years of kind of fusion, even if it's not like intentional fusion.
100%, and especially during what's going on now, I think people are going to be making some really deep tunes.
Definitely, man. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna look at like a load of different things you're involved in. So over the last sort of 2 years, how much music have you been putting out there?
2019 was pretty quiet release-wise. I think I only done like 2 records, might have been 3, but I've been mainly sitting on a lot because I'm about to drop an album on Bandcamp in the next couple of weeks, which I was originally going to save to the end of the year, do it on vinyl and everything, but I thought now's the best time to put it out. Really, it needs to be heard as one, and like rather now than later, because it's more on a wintry, solemn type of vibe. So I just want to get it out there. But yeah, and this year going to be putting out quite a lot of stuff. I'm sat on a lot of music, working with new artists, working with vocalists, doing other tempos and genres. So yeah, that's going to be a big influx of releases this year.
Wicked, man. I think overall across the kind of globe, it's almost going to be like the boomer music generation, if you know what I mean. This is going to be this period where everyone's locked in for a period of time, so everyone's going to go and get like loads of new bits finished up.
Bro, for real, like instead of like a baby boom, there's going to be a music boom.
Banger boom or something like that.
Yeah, banger boom.
But yeah, I mean, it's wicked to see, man. Obviously, as I've said before, you were actually the first person to ever book me as a performing DJ back in the day.
That show.
Which was, I mean, I'm going to tell the story of the show because it's quite an amusing story. Obviously, it was the first time I've ever played. Bear in mind, I'm 15 at this point. I head down to the Volks. I get there early because obviously I don't know how the scenario works out. Like, I don't know how like what you're supposed to do if you're booked. I don't really know if you're supposed to get there early and wait or just turn up. Like, I didn't really know. I turned up, and I don't mind saying it now, with literally a vinyl bag and 8 red stripes like packed down the side of my vinyl bag, not knowing if you're allowed to bring. And I didn't know whether you're allowed to bring beer in or not. So I get in there, and bear in mind I'm 15. They're checking my ID at the time, and obviously I was 15. It wasn't me. Let's be real. So I'm going in. I'm sat there waiting to get in. And it takes about like 25 minutes for them to let me in. And I'm like, cool, the club hasn't even opened yet. I go downstairs and set up. I think you're already down there. Setting up, and I go down there. Basically, everything's rolling smoothly at this point. We get to I get to the point where I'm playing, and the guy before, I think it was Charlie Subnero, I think his name was at the time.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
He was on before me, and he had Serato, and he plugged the cables in the wrong way around, back around. So I was basically playing into phono channels. So obviously everything I was playing was sounding like coming through the mixes. I'm there like terrified because it's the first time I've ever played. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. This is what I've always done when I practice. And then my CDJs start skipping because I brought my own CDJs down with me. and then yeah, it was the first sort of like 20 minutes were an absolute nightmare. Then switched to vinyl, and then it was all good after that. And then the room was popping again. But I remember my dad came down for the first show, and he literally went upstairs like, I can't watch this, and then came back downstairs and the room was popping. It was brilliant.
Right, that was an incredible show. I don't even know how I pulled it off, really.
Yeah, there was. I mean, that whole show, that scenario there was kind of like my intro to kind of music in Brighton. So that's why I wanted to say on air, thank you for doing that for me.
Mate, anytime. And you know what? It's best to be thrown in at the deep end, because after that you're ready for any kind of
scenario you know what?
To happen.
This is definitely
better when the stuff works.
Definitely, bro. And this is something I would quite like to talk about, because obviously there's always new DJs and new producers coming through, and what I tend to find is DJs are very much of that time when they start. You know what I mean? When, for instance, now most DJs will be starting to mix on controllers rather than mixing on, say, vinyl or CD or CDJs or anything like that. Like, do you think it's important to kind of learn to mix vinyl as a DJ?
Personally, I think it's definitely wise to learn all kinds of formats, because you never know what gig's going to have what. You know, you could turn up and the equipment might not work. You need to have a backup plan. And also, just for the history of DJing, and like, you know, it's nice to learn formats. Like, I didn't have the opportunity to start on CDJs or anything, because when we were starting, it was all vinyl. It was the most affordable thing to have Technics, because CDJs were through the roof price.
Yeah, they were like $2,000 each back in the day for the Pioneers.
It's ridiculous. And like, I don't know, I just really enjoyed the feeling of like going through my crate and picking certain tunes for raves and lugging boxes down to the club and being like, right, this is what I'm playing.
There's a bit of a romance in it, isn't there?
Yeah, no, it is, definitely. But I also like the fact nowadays you can literally download tunes on your phone, plug it into a USB and put it straight into CDJ, so you can get really fresh new music opposed to having to cut it. But yeah, each to their own. But I think learning all formats is definitely a good idea and a good way.
I think more than anything else that I've found, I think, as you were saying earlier, it prepares you for like the worst. For instance, you turn up and for some reason the tempo pitches stop working on, the pitches stop working on a CDJ. You can't actually see what it's actually saying. Say that happens. If you've learned to mix vinyl, it won't be an issue for you. You know what I mean?
No, definitely.
So let's get into another banger then. This one goes by the name of Flutes. Now talk to me about this tune.
This one, I made this one in 2015 on my old PC, which unfortunately died. And then last year I was able to recover the project file, and then obviously Infernal snapped that straight up. And yeah, this one's been going around a while and people have been after it, so I was glad to get the reception I had. And I've got to say big up to my pal Lewis, who did the artwork. He smashed it on that.
Wicked, man. Let's get into this one then. This one is Flutes. Sepia is on the line with us. One time, what is the best social media tag for people to get hold of you on?
All of them are the same, just Sepia Music UK.
Good stuff. I love it when they're the same. It makes me so much happier. Right, let's get into this one then. This one is Flutes. Don't go anywhere. We're live on the Cubcam YouTube channel. Make sure you're liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and following Sepia on all platforms. Oh, yes. Sounds of the Sepia on this one with flutes. Absolute bell to this one. We're going to get into more conversation in just a second. Don't go anywhere. It's Brekky in the Cave. Right then, we're on the line with man like Sepia right about now. It's Brekky in the Cave. How is everyone doing this morning? Make sure you're leaving a little message in the chat box if you are locked in. Out to man like Dub Sarge, out to Drumwork, out to James Chase as well. We're on the line with man like Sepia right about now. And there's a couple of things I want to talk about specifically. You are someone that tours a lot, aren't you?
Yeah, it's been pretty manic the last few years, to be honest.
So what I mean, where have you been to? Where have been like the fun places to go the last few years?
Man, America, New Zealand, Australia, Poland, Croatia, France, Italy, just everywhere, man. It's been Romania. It's been crazy.
I mean, it's the mad thing. The mad thing, obviously, for me to see is how like it seems to be so often you're on tour.
Yeah, like the last one, I was away for like 7 months. Did like America to Outlook, around Europe to New Zealand and Australia, then back to America. Then finally came back to the UK in January.
So how did you find living on the road for that long?
It's amazing at first, but then after a while you kind of start losing the plot a bit. But you know, you just got to keep healthy, exercise, stay with good friends, isolate yourself sometimes if you just don't feel up to doing anything. And yeah, just keep in contact with friends and family and just realise you're there to do a job and not get carried away and kind of just home it together. But it's nice being able to go and see loads of other countries, eat food, meet people. So it keeps you kind of grounded and sane. You realise how nice an opportunity it is. So
definitely,
yeah,
man. That's good. That's good to hear, man. Now, what I'm kind of going to lead on to with this bit next is obviously, as I was saying earlier, DJ Mag have announced their top 100 clubs, obviously, and they were quite concerned about going ahead with the report, obviously, as every club is now closed and we're not sure what's really going to happen with clubbing in the UK after everything. But what I wanted to ask is, where have been your favourite venues that you've kind of discovered during this this tour, like the tours you've been on?
Hands down, my favourite venue in the world is the Black Box, Denver. easily. That place is just unprecedented. It's unreal. You definitely need to check it out if you ever get a chance to.
In what way? What makes it so special?
Oh, dude, just the vibe. All the art on the wall was made by incredible artists local to Denver. The system, their bass couch, their like hand-tuned, hand-built system is just unreal. And just the location, the setting, the people, the brand itself, everything there. It's just so professional and amazing. Just it feels like home every time I go back. It literally feels like I'm walking back home.
Very nice indeed, man. I mean, that's what you want from a club, isn't it? You want the kind of sense of excitement, but you also want the sense of familiarity and safety, I suppose.
Definitely, and you get both when you go there.
Good stuff.
Even revelers that go there.
So where else have you enjoyed?
Cross Club in Prague, absolutely amazing. It's got like steampunk decor. It's open a stupid amount of hours. It's really, really crazy place. Really interactive and fun as well.
So if you were to put a show, I don't know if you're ever involved with promotion as much anymore, because I remember back in the day you were a fair bit. But in regards to like, if you were to put a show on now somewhere in the UK, where would you put it on?
You know what? Not that I'd ever be able to, but I would love to do a show at Printworks, because that place is crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
Really, really crazy. And also the Dome in Tufnell Park, where System used to be, because that just had the best vibes I've ever had in a UK club. Literally.
Very nice. I mean, I was looking through the listing from DJ Mag. Printworks was actually rated at number 5 in the world, so it's currently rated as the best club in the UK, and 5th in the world by them. Yeah. So it was quite cool to see a UK club in the top 10. So we're going to jump into another.
You should get to.
Definitely, man. What we're going to do next is jump into another banger. This one goes by the name of "Watch How We Flow." Talk to me about this tune, sir.
This one is actually a really recent one. I was coming up to the final run of my shows in America back in December, January. I didn't have my laptop with me, so I borrowed my friends that I was staying with and just wrote this in a couple of days and started playing it out. Yeah, it's got some good reactions so far. Nice,
man. Are you still pretty much of that thing where you'll make... well, I mean, most people are, but do you enjoy that kind of testing process of making a tune and testing it out in a rave before maybe sending it out to people?
Oh, definitely. I don't send anything to anyone until it's at least version 6 and been tested on like 5 different systems and different speakers.
Very nice. But you see, I was talking to someone, I can't remember who I was talking to about this. Someone this week I was speaking to about this. It might have been Max Wheeler actually earlier in the week. But we were talking about the fact that tunes don't necessarily get tested on systems before they get sent to labels anymore.
No, a lot of the time they don't. I know a guy, I'm not going to name him, but I know a guy that tested his on car speakers, got it signed, and the record sold out. So shows it doesn't matter what system it's on, just as long as it bangs, it sounds good.
There we go. All right, let's get into this one then. This one is Watch How We Flow. Sepia is on the line with me. Don't go anywhere, guys. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel and liking the video as well. Out to the Locked In crew. are back on the line with man like Sepia. I tell you what, dude, it's been an absolute pleasure to catch up this morning.
Man, same. Shouldn't leave it too long again.
Yeah, definitely not, man. I feel there's but as I've said before, like we've known each other for over 10 years at this point, and realistically, you were like the entry point that I had into Brighton's music community. So again, it's always a pleasure to chat, man. It's always a pleasure to catch up and see what you're up to. Talk to me about the future, brother.
Well, it's pretty uncertain at the moment, so for now I'm just focusing on releases and making music and, you know, taking each gig as it comes. But I am currently due to be going to Shambhala Fest in Canada in July, and then also touring New Zealand in July. But we've got to stand by and see what happens now, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. I think for someone like yourself that tours on a regular basis, you're someone who really is like a regular live performer. How are you finding not being able to play the shows? Like how do you feel quite stable with it, or?
Oh man, the opposite. Extremely unstable. Not even just financially, like mentally as well. Like, I'm so used to going and be able to see people and play music, and just feel like I'm twiddling my thumbs sat in my room. But it's also a good time to kind of listen to my body and give it a rest, and you know, just go for walks, give my mental health a little break, and work on music, and then figure out how I want to go ahead with the future. Like, calm down on touring and just do a couple of big ones a year. Just rethink my whole brand and method of it. So yeah, there's pros and cons. That's not all bad.
Definitely, man. And I think, as I've said a few times on this show now, I think this is a time for people to kind of learn new things, not necessarily skill-wise all the time, but also learn new things about themselves. You know what I mean? Like, find out like how you can kind of switch things up, how you can enter like new kind of areas of like entertaining yourself and you're keeping yourself occupied without working like 24/7.
Definitely, and even in your own field you're working in, learn a new complete field of it. Like, I've been doing a lot more admin and like booking things myself, I'm doing all my taxes, all of that things, the music business side, not just the production and playing. So it's good to bring it all in and just be my own manager, be my own boss. So I'm learning a lot of things right now. So it's a positive again. That's
really good to hear, man. And I kind of like take my hat off and clap people that really are kind of using this as an opportunity. I mean, as I've said before, so many producers are going to come out the other side of this with like a sack, shall we say, of bangers that they weren't necessarily going to have other than that. But talk to me about like your sort of production head in this then. How long are you kind of spending in the studio at the moment?
Oh man, since you've known me, I've been a night owl and had insomnia for a long time. Like, even last night, I was up till 6 in the morning making tunes, and I woke up for 8 getting ready for our interview.
Well, thank you.
I'm still full throttle, just throwing myself in. But lately, it's good. I'm just learning how to make patches and FMA patches and stuff, and playing around with other genres, not just doing the field I'm in. Just having a lot of fun, Foley recording and new methods, making songs without any drums at all, just using random Foley samples I've done, like hitting cars and walls, processing them, and trying to expand my soundscape now.
Wicked, man. I mean, you mentioned this earlier, you're working in other genres. Is that purely like Foley stuff, or are you working in other sort of dance music genres as well?
Oh, loads, man. I'm just finishing up an R&B track with a singer from Brighton at the moment called Alicia. Doing one with half of Day 2, Jevon Ives. We've got a track coming, and been making a hip-hop beat tape as well, doing some ambient stuff, and playing guitar and stuff again. So yeah, just everything. I'm just hemorrhaging music, man, and loving it.
Good stuff. That's what I like to hear, man. I like to hear about people using this time to stay busy. We're going to finish up with a track from yourself entitled Tales from the Crypt. Talk me through this tune, man.
As we were saying earlier, with the kind of Eastern influence, this one I sampled an Armenian flute player. Just heard the thing on YouTube. It's like, I need to sample that melody, it's beautiful. Then started building the beat around it, and then it was the same time I was putting the EP together for Infernal Sounds, the flutes one, and we decided to put this one there.
Wicked, man. Like, is that something you're finding yourself doing a fair bit, like the sampling side of things, or are you much more like building stuff from scratch?
Yeah, no, I do a bit of both really, but I love finding a good sample and messing it around in a way that makes it completely different, or just using it in an interesting way. That sampling is an art, and take my hats off to people that do it really well. There's no shame in it. It's really, really fun.
Yeah, definitely no shame in it at all. I think you to get it right and to get it so. I mean, it's easy to just get for instance, like a sample that will be the main point of the tune. It's not even necessarily that. It's how you can like work with a sample. It's how you can layer it in and make it sound like it's meant to be there. I think that's the skill.
Yeah, exactly. Making it fit into place. It's like playing Tetris, but finding a sample that fits properly around your tune.
Definitely, man. So what are you up to for the rest of the day then before we finish up?
Sit in my garden for a bit because we can't go outside, but do want to catch some rays, and then studio for the rest of the day. I think I'm pretty inspired now to make some more stuff.
Oh, I love that. I'm glad to have kept the inspiration levels high. I love that.
Oh no, definitely, man.
Right, let's get into this then. This one is Tales from the Crypt. Sepia, it's been an absolute pleasure. One more time, what is the best social media tag for people to get you on?
Everything / Sepia Music UK.
Good stuff, man. I'll speak to you soon, and yeah, we'll chat later.
Wicked. Have a good day, brother. Take care.
You too, sir. You too. Right, we're going to get into this one now. This one is Tales from the Crypt. Sepia has been on the line for the last 40 minutes or so. Don't go anywhere. We've got 20 minutes of the show left. We're going to be looking at what's happening with international football, any kind of rumours floating around, and exactly what skills people are learning during this time. So don't go anywhere. Sounds of the Sepia on this one with Tales from the Crypt. Wicked tune. Gonna be cracking on with a couple of other bits as well. This one, Tales from the Crypt. Right then, how are we doing this morning, my friends? It's Brekky In The Cave. That one echoed from Sepia with Tales from the Crypt. I'm loving the mix and blend of styles we're able to play on this show. Trust me, Very enjoyable times indeed. Out to everyone who has been locked in so far this morning, make sure you are subscribing to the page, of course. Want to keep that sub level rising. We want to get up to that big 100 barrier. Once we hit the hundo, then we can start promoting the channel properly everywhere. At the moment, I'm having to use a bit.ly link, which isn't my favorite thing in the world. But what we're going to look at next is more of these kind of skills that people are developing during this period of time. I've had another couple of messages in saying sewing. Very interesting indeed. I know my girlfriend is currently learning sewing. I got her a sewing machine for her birthday, so there we go. Out to Jodie. I know she normally locks in the mornings. How are you doing this morning, my darling? As well as that, practicing my darts, as well as learning to produce music. Well, trying. Haha, nice one. Just keep practicing, brother. You've got all the time in the world to practice now. So I think this is a good time to pick up. As I said, this is a good time to pick up those skills you may not necessarily have done beforehand. Perfecting pizza dough to Domino standards. So far, failing. There we go. You know what? I've always been dreadful at making pizza, despite the fact that I did work in a kitchen for nearly 6-7 years, making dough and just bakery in general. Anything to do with dough I was never very good at because it's such a precise kind of method. I'm very much, in regards to cooking, I'm very much someone who likes to just throw stuff into a pan and kind of work with it as we kind of go, rather than following specific, like, concise, exact recipes. That's something I kind of struggle with, to be honest with you. Another one I've had in as well is keepy uppies. And now I'm seeing a lot of people do this keepy uppy challenge with a thing of toilet roll. Is this still happening? I might give it a go and post a video online, to be honest with you, because I'm quite good at keepy uppies. But we'll see. As I said before, we've still got loads of bangers to run this morning. So let's get into this one from Folo and Vexy. Now, this is an absolute heater. I did hear this one yesterday. I put a little review of this tune up on 3000.co.uk. Really, really enjoyed it. So we're going to get into it in just a second. But yeah, futuristic vibes on this one. It's down at 130 BPM, so it's not a sort of grime tune. However, this is what I want to. I think it's Wave. I think that's what this tune would be called in its kind of layup. But this one, I believe, is out now for free download via ESC, which is, I believe, I can't remember the name of the label. But anyway, yeah, ESC is the name of the label. But yeah, wicked releases on there. Really kind of cool future grime sound on there. So let's get into this one. Don't go anywhere. We're live on the Cup Cam YouTube channel.
I was good on my own, that's the way it was. That's the way it was. You was good on the low for a faded fuck. I'm so faded up. Shit, what the fuck you complaining for? Feeling jaded up. Used to trip off that shit I was kicking to you. Had some fun on the run, though I give it to you. But baby, don't get it twisted. You was just another nigga on the hit list. Tryna fix the niggas just with a bad bitch. Didn't they tell you that I was a savage? Fuck your white horse in the carriage. But you never could imagine. Never said you could have it. You.
Huge tune, this one from Folo and Vexy. Very tasty vibes on this one. Right then, that one there coming from Folo and Vexy, track entitled Twisted. Really cool tune, that one. As I said before, I'm really liking this kind of futuristic blend that Wave is kind of bringing out of people. That one is out now for free download via ESC_. But yeah, there's a little review I put up on 3000.co.uk as well if you want to take a look at my kind of more in-depth feelings towards that one. We've got a couple more bangers to play this morning before we finish up the show. We're going to run a new one from Luciferian as well, which drops this Friday. Lucy will also be joining us on the phone on Friday. Myself and Duke Sky in interview mode for Fresh Fridays, which I'm really looking forward to. As well as that, we're going to be joined by a man like Jake Compton tomorrow. I believe he's currently streaming Minecraft on Facebook as well. To be honest, I'm probably going to jump on a stream later on myself. I don't know. We have got another episode of Third Age popping today, but I don't know whether I'll record another one today. So we're always a couple of episodes ahead, but I don't know if I'll record another one today just because I'm feeling very kind of a little bit, I won't know, I'm feeling a little bit overworked with all this YouTube stuff, despite the fact that I'm at home the entire time. But obviously I'm out of routine, so I'm having to get used to a new routine or whatever. I'm finding myself struggling to get to sleep as well, even though I'm waking up moderately early still. I'm finding myself struggling to get to sleep the night before, which is again, it's all part of changing a routine for the time being. I'm gonna have to switch that all back around completely the other way when we all go back to work, essentially. But yeah, there's loads of stuff to talk about. I mean, the thing that I'm finding interesting now, it's been obviously a couple of weeks of this scenario, and we're starting to see people really kind of bring forward their kind of unique ideas. The amount of live streams I'm seeing popping up, the amount of like different styles of project I'm seeing pop up, the amount of isolation mixes and stuff like that. I think, as I've said before, this really is a time to get creative and get as creative as possible with different things that people are doing. So let's get into a banger then, shall we? What should we run as a banger? You know what? I'm going to run this tune here from Mr. Vegas because it puts me in a good mood. I think this is the sort of thing we need right now. We need feel-good music. We need music that has good flavors and good energy levels. So this one coming from Mr. Vegas. This one is Corona featuring Topo La Mascara.
Oh, lad, 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 lad. Oh, na, 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 na. Na, na. Hey, girl, Corona, your ass. Bumbo club. Dirty Corona, your ass. Bumbo club. Hey, girl, Corona with your virus. I beg your love, young one, your ass. Bumbo club. Can be my wifey. Can be my sweetheart, your ass. Bumbo club. Hey, girl, Corona with your virus. I beg your love, young one, your ass. Bumbo club. Oh, Corona, I'm afraid of you. A father evil, you do. Oh, Corona, we're afraid of you. A murder when she passed through. She does all over. She's a killer, pretty killer. She is a murderer, pretty killer, pretty killer. Hey, girl, Corona, your ass. Bumbo club. Dirty Corona, your ass. Bumbo club. Hey, girl, Corona with your virus. I beg your love, young one, your ass. Bumbo club. Me know why you come touch me body. Anyway you see me stay far from me. Me hear you gone 50,000 Chinese. Any which part you go and you lock the city. You give Ishi and the old lady. Nobody never pay you a give it for free. Me know want nobody come but me. Hey, girl, Corona, your ass. Bumbo club. Dirty Corona, your ass. Bumbo club. Hey, girl, Corona with your virus. I beg your love, young one, your ass. Bumbo club. Can be my wifey, your ass. Bumbo club. Can be my sweetheart, your ass. Bumbo club. Hey, girl, Corona with your virus. I beg your love, young one, your ass. Bumbo club. Tell me why you're tripping, young girl, you're wrong. You wanna touch my system, but you know that me afraid of you. Can't be my boo. Now I see you. Oh, na, na, na. Nigga, Corona, your ass. Bumbo Bumbleclot.
That one coming from Mr. Vegas. We are live on the Cubcam YouTube channel, and we are coming towards the end of the show. As per, a massive shout out to everyone who has been locked in this morning. We've got loads of stuff to kind of look forward to towards the weekend. As I've said before, I'm trying to find as many sort of games and online activities people can do with their friends without necessarily being... without obviously having to go outside. So we're looking for like online chat parties and things like that. As I've said before, Discord is the big one we've been using. Me and a group of friends of mine, we've been like on Discord pretty much 24/7. We can pop in and out of the chat whenever we want, whenever there's any news, we're like sharing it in there. And obviously if you have a mic on your laptop or your PC or your webcam or whatever, you can just jump into a voice chat, and it's really, really enjoyable. You can also get the app on your phone. I'd recommend Discord quite highly. This isn't a paid sponsorship post, by the way. I just really would recommend it. I know a lot of my friends are very much crying out for that kind of connection with people that isolation brings. So staying in communication with people is the most important thing, I find. So what we're going to do is we're going to finish up with a new one from Luciferian. This one goes by the name of More Time. This one is produced by Jake Bob, and this one is out this Friday. We will be talking to Luciferian on the phone on Friday as well, so don't go anywhere.
You sing good and make love good.
Won't see a phone in my hand cause I don't own one. Tryna build a monopoly. I'll be the banker, I don't wanna own no one. I don't wanna own no P. Won't see a phone in my hand cause I don't own one. Tryna build a monopoly. I'll be the banker, I don't wanna own no one. I don't wanna own no P. Won't see a phone in my hand cause I don't own one. Tryna build a monopoly. I'll be the banker, I don't wanna own no one. I don't wanna own no P. Won't see a phone in my hand cause I don't own one. Tryna build a monopoly. I'll be the banker, I don't wanna own no one. I don't wanna own no P. Ain't had a phone in about 4 years cause it distracts me more time, but I still got my MacBook here, and that thing takes up most of my time. Trust me, technology is the thing that pisses my girlfriend off more time. When I bang out PS4 with the lads, but for my girl I need to make more time. Ain't had a phone in about 4 years, cause it distracts me more time, but I still got my MacBook here, and that thing takes up most of my time. Trust me, technology is the thing that pisses my girlfriend off more time. When I bang out PS4 with the lads, but for my girl I need to make more time. And I play Fortnite, you're too weak like a Fortnite. That's a bait bar, but it's alright. And when I argue with my girl, I'm always right. 3 rights to the left. Never have the mic on my left. I'm old school like Cha-Cha Slide. Charlie Brown, slide to the left, slide to the right, do the reverse. If I want mic, then I'm slewing the verse. I don't wanna do a tune with you, cause your whack bars will ruin the verse. You've been dead for ages, I'll put you in a hearse. Skyberry, you'll feed you to the birds. Otherwise, cremation in the church. Word, cycle of life has just occurred. You need to decompose in the earth, make space for a new life, new birth. I do Aleister Crowley magic, Madam Blavatsky hit you with a curse. I was born to conduct like Tesla, best know that I got power in my words. Thought that you could terrorize me like ISIS, till I fall back to the Kurds. Word, never it's my term, got a beard like I'm from the Middle East, that's none of your concern. Don't look at me so funny on the train, I ain't here to explode or burn, unless we're talking about music, in which case... Won't see a phone in my hand cause I don't own one. Tryna build a monopoly. I'll be the banker, I don't wanna own no one. I don't wanna own no P. Won't see a phone in my hand cause I don't own one. Tryna build a monopoly. I'll be the banker, I don't wanna own no one. I don't wanna own no P. Won't see a phone in my hand cause I don't own one. Tryna build a monopoly. I'll be the banker, I don't wanna own no one. I don't wanna own no P. Won't see a phone in my hand cause I don't own one. Tryna build a monopoly. I'll be the banker, I don't wanna own no one. I don't wanna own no P. Ain't had a phone in about 4 years cause it distracts me more time, but I still got my MacBook here, and that thing takes up most of my time. Trust me, technology is the thing that pisses my girlfriend off more time. When I bang out PS4 with the lads, but for my girl I need to make more time. Ain't had a phone in about 4 years cause it distracts me more time, but I still got my MacBook here, and that thing takes up most of my time. Trust me, technology is the thing that pisses my girlfriend off more time. When I bang out PS4 with the lads, but for my girl I need to make more time.
Sounds of Luciferian on that one. Massive shouts out to everyone who has been locked in this morning. That is the end of the show. As I said before, we will be getting on the line with Luciferian on Friday. It's Wednesday morning. I hope everyone has a very enjoyable day. I'm going to go off and have some breakfast, get this show edited and up onto podcasting. And I'll see you all same time tomorrow morning. Massive shouts out to all the locked in crew. Yeah, make sure you're liking the video, subscribing to the page. There will be another Third Age video going up this afternoon. So yeah, I'll see you all soon. See you later, guys.